Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Dating Alchemy with me, Jen Youngquist. This is episode 6, Preventing Heartbreak from Derailing Your Dating Life. So, I wanted to talk about this today. I think it's so important because I've been seeing more and more people my age especially, so late 40s to mid 50s that are just kind of done with dating. They're tired of the roller coaster. They're tired of always getting their heart broken, and they've come to believe that there just aren't any good ones left. Okay, now, yes, I will say that there are a lot of walking wounded out there. Okay, but I've come to understand, especially after studying spiritual principles, that whatever you want is available, it is out there, and it is waiting for you. Now, there's a lot of trial and error in dating, and I'm going to get into why that is exactly. Um, and it is a bit of a numbers game. Like you do have to kind of get out there and cycle through a lot of people. But we need to do it in a way where you don't get attached up front. Okay, so a lot of times we meet someone and we just want it to work so bad, or we're so attracted to them at the beginning, that we just latch on and we don't want to see what is really going on in the relationship, right? Um, so, what happens is you end up staying too long, you give too many chances. And before you know it, you're ending up with a broken heart. And when that happens over and over and over again, it can get a little or a lot cumbersome, right? You just get so tired of it, tired of healing and tired of, maybe losing money or, whatever it is that you lost in that relationship. I get it. I went through a lot of them, that way too. It stayed far too long and it just started to feel like it was never going to happen. Um, so I think that a lot of people these days try to take charge, and it makes them feel like you're doing something about it. You're empowering yourself by taking yourself out of the dating game. Um, but I think that is false empowerment, um, because you're hurting yourself by taking yourself out of the game, right? This is something that you really want in your life, but you're being like, fuck it. I'm not gonna participate because it's really hard and I'm done with it. And to a certain extent, it's good to protect yourself that way, to protect your energy, to give yourself time to heal. But what I want to offer is you can date without letting the heartbreak completely derail you. Okay. So it takes quite a mindset shift to do that, though. And a lot of people have trouble doing that on their own. So, what I want to talk about today is how you can start to see heartbreak in a different way. How you can make it so that you're not just completely devastated by each breakup. All right. And a lot of what happens in a breakup is stuff that you do to yourself. All right. And I'm going to go through that. So, the fastest way to get over your heartbreak, that it's threefold. Okay? So, number 1 is allow the feelings. Just don't beat yourself up for having feelings about this person. All right? The number one thing you need to understand here is emotions are energy, right? Emotions follow waves just like energy does. Okay, there's a defined beginning, they crest, and then there's also a falling away. And when you don't allow that energy to move through your body, it will get stuck in there. Okay, you don't want to let that energy get stuck and build up. All right, so if you've had a lot of breakups and you're not allowing yourself to feel these feelings, that's just all starting to stack up inside. Probably even adding to some of your past trauma that you might not have moved through completely. So you're underneath the surface, you've got all of this emotional energy that's just sitting there, and it's going to play havoc on your nervous system. It might even be making you physically sick. Okay? You've got to allow the emotions. Now, I know a lot of times we don't allow them because we feel shame for having those emotions. We beat ourselves up for being upset about this breakup. So, we think that we shouldn't be mad. Like, so let's say, it was a kind of relationship where there was abuse, and, maybe you allowed this person to treat you like shit. And so now that it's over, you don't want to be upset about the relationship, right? You want to be mad, and you think that you shouldn't care or you shouldn't feel a certain way. That is not allowing, okay? You're making yourself wrong for having these feelings. But what I want to point out here is that, while someone may have treated you badly and you still are mourning the loss of this relationship, like, it's messy. It's messy. Being human is messy. There are no rules, okay? There's no rules for how you should feel in this situation. Likely you're going to, the relationship probably wasn't all bad, right? There was probably some redeeming qualities about this person. So it's okay to miss those things. It's okay to want to have a different outcome. It's okay to mourn the loss. All right? Allow it. Because you're not allowing it is what is making this persist. It's what adds to the pain. The faster you can allow those emotions to come up, to feel them, express them in any way you want. Scream, cry, beat some shit up. Maybe paint using art, whatever it is for you, let it happen. Just let it happen. I guarantee you, you will move through it faster. Okay? It's the number one thing that I tell my clients, when they're really upset about a relationship ending is be upset. Allow it. You have that right to feel the way that you do. So bring in compassion for yourself. All right? Let it happen. And don't make yourself wrong for feeling the way that you do. Okay? So that's number one. Number two is understand that a lot of these relationships that we have are karmic. And what I mean by that is they're here to teach you something. Usually, the more volatile and shitty and passionate a relationship is, the bigger the lessons. Okay? So, all of our relationships are here to act as a mirror for us. It's here to show us something about ourselves that we might not be able to see in any other way. Okay? So every relationship has an energy to it. There is an overall kind of pattern or energetic theme to a relationship. And that energy either serves to be a glue that keeps you together and becomes something you can build onto, or that energy becomes kind of like a glue, but it will start to come unraveled as the relationship goes on. And it's not a steady foundation. So it's either a detrimental attraction or it's a positive attraction from which you can build. And most relationships that you're in are probably going to be built on the not so good energetic bond. So, what I mean by this is, we'll take my example. I kept attracting people who, while at first they seemed like they were, really into me, but then as we started getting a little more comfortable with each other, there was this wall that would appear. Sometimes it would appear within a few days, sometimes it would be a week, sometimes a month, but it would always show up as them putting the brakes on the relationship and keeping me at arm's length. Okay, so they were, suddenly other things were more important, or I realized they're not letting me really fully into their life. Um, they're not choosing me. Okay. I was really attracted to that kind of energy because I felt like I had to earn that love. Like if they would have just given me the love right out the gate, I would have been like, nope, they're too needy." Right? Or whatever. I would have been like, I think I really like this person. But because they withheld it and I felt like I had to earn it, that was very attractive to me. And on the other side of that coin, I was attractive to them because they did not want to give that kind of love, right? They wanted to have that aloofness in the relationship, right? So as the relationship progressed and I felt like I had done enough to earn more of that love, but I wasn't getting it, that's when things fell apart. Okay, so that is a relationship, as a karmic relationship. That relationship was there to show me that someone that doesn't want to give me love and makes me work for it is not someone I should be with, right? So I had to learn some very hard lessons um, about relationships that way. So if you can take those painful situations and you can look for that overall energy of what was happening. What was the foundation? What was the attraction? What was that glue? And how was it held together? Um, and what is that trying to show you? Then you can look at it in a completely different way, right? When you see the lesson and you can be like, oh, that's what this was trying to show me. And then you really do your inner work to incorporate that and to shift it, then you'll never have to repeat it again. But I suspect a lot of you keep finding the same kinds of relationships with the same energetic patterns, and you're not getting it. So it keeps coming up for you. And that's what happened to me. Like all from age 15 up until 35, that's what happened to me. Person after person. It was same relationship in your same energy in each relationship. And it started to get worse and worse and worse until there at the end it was like nothing but guys that just wanted to, have casual relationships with me. Like that's where it headed. Okay. Um, so this is the work that I help people do, honestly. Um, I help people to understand the energy of their relationships, what themes keep coming up, why things happened the way they did, and what you're needing to take away from it. Okay? Because I'm gonna tell you, like, you either do the work on yourself inside relationships, which is the painful way, right? You keep getting relationship after relationship that's there to teach you some things. You're not learning the lesson, so it keeps repeating. Or you work with someone that can help you to do the work outside of those relationships. That is the not so painful way to do this work. Okay? Um, So, if you find that you're in a lot of karmic relationships and they're just very painful and you're experiencing a lot of heartbreak, it might be time to seek out someone to help you to see what you're not able to see on your own. Because I'm going to tell you, uh, it's really, really hard sometimes to see some of these really deep lessons. It took me a long, long time to put all of those pieces together by myself. And I really wish I had worked with someone earlier that could have been like, oh, I see what's going on here. You got to prove it. You got to earn that love. And I would have been like, oh, okay, I see it now. But I never was able to see that. So, and then number three. I want you to realize that no matter what anyone does to you, it was never because of you. So if you find yourself cheated on all the time, or abandoned, or someone like they treat you like a doormat, it's not ever because there is anything wrong with you. All right? It is always 100% due to their own internal programming. All right. It's always about their own, the way they see the world due to all of their own experiences. You are merely a trigger for their own shit. Okay? They're not cheating on you because you're a terrible person or that there is something inherently wrong with you. You're just the fertile ground for their own shit to come up. Okay? Look at it this way. So let's say you open up your laptop and you open up a program, and the program is not acting, there's a bug in it. It's not acting the way that you think it should be, right? Would you blame yourself for that program acting that way? No. You simply opened it up and tried to put in a command, get it to do something, and it's not doing it, right? You would never take that personal. No, and you also know, unless you're a programmer, you can't fix it. You're not going to be able to fix it. You just got to report the bug and move on, right? It's the same thing with relationships. All right? You don't act because of someone else. You're acting because of your own programming, and they're doing the same thing. So when you can realize that what happened and what this person did to you was not because of you, you're able to let go of the relationship a lot faster because you're not harming yourself with it, right? Whenever you feel like there's something wrong with you, that makes the situation just that much more traumatic, doesn't it? If you can realize that this was just something that happened, right? There was an attraction. It was built on the wrong type of energy. I was here to learn some things from it and then let it go. I'm not saying it's not going to be painful, but it's not going to be devastating. Okay? It's not going to be devastatingly painful. And you will be able to let go and detach from that relationship so much faster. All right. So, there's always going to be risk in relationships. And there's always going to be a little bit of healing that we have to do from each one. But if you do your work, your internal work, and what I mean by that is, look, we're always a match for what is happening to us in that moment, an energetic match. So the relationships you've had so far, you've been an energetic match for. All right. When you can do your own work to become energetically different, then you will start to be a match for different things. All right. If you don't do the internal work, if you don't do the shifting, then you can expect to stay on that hamster wheel. And it's just going to keep repeating and repeating and repeating until you become a match for something different. And for you to just give up because you don't understand what's happening, to me, it's a tragedy. It really is. And it's so preventable. That's what I want you to understand. Like, you have so much control over the situation. I know you don't feel like you do. I didn't either. I felt like it was all happening to me, not for me. until I realized it was happening for me. What can I learn from this? What can I do differently? Um, and then things started to shift. All right. So this is what I help people do. Like I said, you either do the work in relationship, you stay on the hamster wheel, and you keep trying to learn about shifts that you need to make, or you do the work outside of relationships. And that is why you hire a coach, okay? That's the work that I help people to do. It's much, much less painful to do it that way. All right. So if that is something that you might be interested in, um, hit me up. Okay. I'm going to put my links in the show notes, where you can set up a time to chat with me. But I have a 16-week program where I will lead you through the process of understanding how to do this work, how to figure out what were the things these relationships were trying to teach you. I help you make those shifts energetically. I'm going to teach you about the spiritual principles so that you understand how to use your energy to get what you want, how to control your own destiny around relationships. All right, so by the end of that 16 weeks, you will be able to recognize a karmic relationship when you're in one. And that, my friends, is the key, to recognize it at the beginning, to recognize it quickly before you get too attached. Then you'll understand how to figure out what that relationship was trying to teach you, and you'll have walked through the process of shifting. You'll already know how to do that. So instead of, being stuck in a karmic relationship for months to years, you're going to, cut that way down to maybe weeks. All right. And when you can do that and you can cycle through that so much faster, you don't have that long trail of pain and recovery from that. You just simply feel it, allow it, shift it, move on to the next one. And before you know it, you're going to become that energetic match for exactly what it is that you want. All right. So I'm going to put the link down below. I just ask that you fill out the form so that I can get a sense for your past history, what your goals are, what are the things that are really bothering you. And then once you submit the form, you'll be offered a chance to pick out your time to chat with me, and we'll have our conversation. And there's never any obligation to sign. Like, we're literally having this conversation to figure out if this is something that you really want, if this is something I can help you with, and are we a good fit to work together? Sometimes we are, sometimes we're not, and that's okay. Um, but either way, you are going to walk away with knowing some of the major things that you'll want to start to take a look at, and you'll at least know at a high level what it is you'll want to work on. All right. So that's it for today. I want to thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.